Good morning and welcome to the 10 a.m. daily weather brief. Starting us off with our upper level winds. In the lower levels, we are seeing west-southwesterly winds running at about 20 knots and dying down with height up to about 9,000 feet, where we do see yet another uptick in those speeds, and we see our observed max up at 35 knots coming out of the west at 20,000 feet. As for the freezing level today, we found that those values at 12,600 feet, and that was as of 8 this morning. Now, this morning's surface analysis chart continues to show that high pressure is sliding further offshore and will continue to do such through Thursday, which is going to bring us those warmer temperatures and increasing humidity with mainly dry conditions anticipated for today, but shower and thunderstorm chances do start to build in those overnight hours in the early evening or in the evening and overnight hours before Thursday night and Friday. We see a slow moving cold front push through our area, and that is as an upper level trough in the Mississippi River Valley begins to amplify and move east-northeast before eventually settling out over the southeast by the weekend. Now that setup is going to continue to keep us in an unsettled weather pattern as that trough continues to hang around over the mid-south Saturday and continues to tap into all that moisture before we see it slowly lift northeast on Sunday. And then looking ahead to early next week, that upper trough stays over the mid-Atlantic and the southeast while we see some strong high pressure begin to build in across Ontario and Quebec, in which unfortunately those rain chances do look to still linger around into early next week. And our temperatures will also drop, and they will drop to the mid to low 70s for the highs, and the lows will settle down in the mid-60s. And it is also worth noting that a couple models are hinting at a possible tropical development or disturbance coming together near the Gulf Stream. And although there's a lot of uncertainty on those models as to where exactly that track and ultimately if it does come together, we're just something to keep on the radar as moving into the next week or through the days ahead. We'll definitely be keeping an eye on it to see how things start to come together. Moving on to today's 24-hour forecast, slight adjustments from this morning, adjusting for some upper level clouds here, in which we can expect partly to mostly cloudy conditions with a couple breaks every once in a while and cloud cover consistent throughout much of the day and building in the night and into the early hours of tomorrow morning. As for our temperatures, we can anticipate those getting up to the low 80s and settling down in a warm 70-degree range, low 70-degree range. And our winds today do look to remain light throughout the working period and in the overnight hours before just some slight upticks early tomorrow morning, but nothing really to make note of. And this evening, we do have a little bit of color on the board for the slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm passing through the area, as well as some potential for some patchy fog similar to this morning. Now, looking at our short-term risk chart, on Thursday we can anticipate partly to mostly cloudy conditions with a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms and a high of 81. On Thursday night, we can anticipate cloudy conditions with a more elevated chance of showers and thunderstorms and a slight chance of some low-level cloud cover or fog building in and a low of 69. And then on Friday, partly to mostly cloudy conditions with a slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm and a high of 80. And that brings us to the 7-day forecast, in which today, mostly cloudy conditions, highs in the low 80s, and a slight chance for some precipitation or a passing thunderstorm this evening. And then Thursday into Friday, we see the highest chances for rain and unsettled weather in the overnight hours between Thursday and Friday, and those highs also remaining around 80. And then moving into the weekend, those temperatures drop down. We do see lingering chances of rain for the days through the weekend leading into early next week, with generally diminishing chances, but certainly still there. And those temperatures continue to ever so slightly decrease as we move into next week. For the lows, they continue to sit around 70 and then for today, and then they will drop down following suit of the highs of the day, in which we'll see those lows settle out in the mid-60s moving through the week. Now that is going to conclude the 7-day outlook. We'll be back tomorrow at 8:15 with the daily weather operations brief. Hope everyone has a great day.